Welcome to you both. Now, let's get right down to it with questions posed by your fellow students, who have each given us their name and a little something about themselves. The first question comes from Christine Kuda, who's afraid of the dark, but still feels that zombies are awesome.
If you could describe your candidacy. If you could describe your candidacy in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Before we get started, I'd like to thank the Crazytown Elementary Election Commission, the entire student body, and my opponent for what I'm confident will be an illuminating, constructive conversation. And if I could describe my candidacy in 3 words, I would do so as follows. For too long, our student body has been divided into factions of the haves and have-nots. And under my leadership, all students will have an equal opportunity to achieve their dreams.
Before we get started, I'd like to thank the Crazytown Elementary Election Commission, the entire student body, and my opponent for what I am confident will be an illuminating, constructive conversation. I'd also like to thank the Tooth Fairy, something my opponent did not thank, presumably because she isn't a true believer. And finally, unlike my opponent, I'll comply with Christine's 3-word limit and describe my candidacy as follows. My goals include
The second question comes from Dawn Francisco, who this one time saw a PG-13 movie while her parents weren't home.
I love tater tots. What's your stance on tater tots? To reiterate, I love tater tots.
An excellent question, Dawn. As you can see, over the last decade, school lunches have seen a disturbing decline in overall quantity of tot. That is why I pledge to reinstate the legislation known as allotted tots, which requires by law that all school lunches adhere to my PPP plan. Ladies and gentlemen, these are difficult times, but make no mistake, I will win the war on taterism.
Look, I'm not going to beat around the potato bush. Tater tots full at 99.4%. That's a higher rate than ice cream trucks. In other words, if you hate tots, you hate America. And I don't hate America. Unless it's opposite day, of course. Wait, is it opposite day?
It is not opposite.
Then I love America. My point is, the more tots, the better, of course, but do we honestly believe we need more cafeteria bureaucracy? Under my administration, you'll say goodbye to big government lunches and say, hey, what's up? To putting the choice in your hands. Under my lunchbox lunches program, the choice is yours. Want to bring in a wheelbarrow of tots? Do it. That's what freedom looks like. Because folks, it's time to leave behind the days of cardboard box pizza, puff half-thawed green beans, and I hesitate to use the M word, milk. We the people can decide what we want to eat for lunch, be it tots, corn dog Lunchables, and most importantly, fruit by the foot.
The next question comes from Tibby Slattery, whose career goals include Batman.
Girls are ghouls.
Thank you, Timmy. Gender issues are a critical part of selection. As a fellow boy, I think it's not only bringing it up, but for also not being a stupid girl. Girls are indeed gross. And that's why on day one of my administration, I repealed the student council's short-sighted verdict on awesome girls versus silly boys.
My opponent is on the wrong side of history. Awesome Girls versus Silly Boys is our generation's most influential bullying, which is why I will throw my full support behind it and ensure the CDC eradicates every strand of beauty and call for punitive damages pursuant to the yanking of pigtails.
That is outrageous. Pigtail rights have been in place since the days of our forefathers. You take that away, what's next? Our water balloons? You can take my water balloons when you pry them from my dead, cold, wet hands.
We're gonna need to move on to the next question.
But before we do, Sophia, I'd like to point out that my opponent is a girl, and therefore, by the terms of the property of gender, totally gross.
And I'd like to point out that my opponent is a boy, and in a few years he'll do a total 180 and try and impress me with cheap cologne, while I reject him for someone with a driver's license and stubble.
I'm sorry, but we need to move on. The next question comes from Alicia Buck, who drew this picture all by herself.
What is your stance on the growing opinion that Timmy should take a shower?
It's a fine question, Alicia. I believe this issue is a bipartisan one. I think I speak for both parents when I say that Timmy should very much definitely take a shower.
The two of us don't
Thank you.
The two of us don't always agree on everything, but I think we can reach across the aisle to work together to find a solution because simply put, Timmy smells terrible.
And for our next question, we turn to our Twitter feed. At Chunky Monkey 12 asks, Yo trolls, totes, lulz, raffle, DM me with pics, hashtag YOLO. Well, that was a waste of time. The next question comes from Amelia Winston, who recently got mustard on her shirt.
In recent months, there has been some debate as to the veracity of a holiday icon known as Santa Claus. Where do you stand?
Thank you for that question, Amelia. First, let's be clear. Santa is real, irrefutably real. He forms the very bedrock of our belief system and candy-based economy. Nevertheless, it is time for a serious reform on all things Kringle. His jolly demeanor notwithstanding, Mr. Claus outsources hundreds of good American jobs to his North Pole sweatshops that violate our entire compendium of Elven labor laws. This is a man whose reindeer-powered aerial transport system is both unsanctioned and non-PETA compliant. And given the growing obesity epidemic, should we ignore his impudent disregard for the food pyramid? With milk and cookies alone, he exceeds the daily recommended value of saturated fats by 5,000%. In summary, Santa Claus is real, yes, but not immune to scrutiny. Mr. Claus is not, and never has been, too big to fail.
A vote for Caitlin is a vote against the free toys.
The next question comes from Larry Hartley, whose favorite candy is all candy.
We live in a difficult time, filled with difficult challenges. With that in mind, how many jumbo marshmallows can you fit in your mouth?
One. Two. The next question comes from Eddie Miguel, who really loves horses.
I've always chosen last for kickball. In your administration, is there any chance I'd be picked not last?
And you raise a critical point. How can we as a recess community flourish if we don't lend a helping hand to the enemy? That is why, under my administration, all kickball rosters will be selected automatically using a sophisticated computer algorithm, aka science, that will ensure that everyone gets the chance to be picked first. Everyone.
Eddie, where I come from, call that way of thinking oddball, or malarkey, or stupid, dumb pants. Fact is, some people are just awful at kickball. Maybe things would be different if we were in Russia playing communism ball. Oh no, we're playing in the United States of America. And in America, do we put LeBron James last in the NBA draft? No, because that would be stupid, dumb pants. We'll always pick LeBron James first, just like we'll always pick Jenny Freeman first in kickball, because Jenny Freeman is good at kicking the ball. Thank you.
The next question comes from Brian Stevenson, whose Halloween costume was a robot, and it looked totally real.
How would you describe your school's spirit? I ask simply because
I've got spirit. Yes, I do. I've got spirit. How about
That's a fine question. If anyone has a Crazytown elementary school pride, it's me. As you know, our mascot is the Northern Elephant Seal. And as I look around the student body, I see so much Northern Elephant Seal pride. As you can see, I also display a Northern Elephant Seal pin right here on my lapel. And as I look over to my opponent, I see that she isn't wearing a lapel pin. How fascinating. I guess school pride isn't for everyone.
Isn't it compelling that my opponent must overcompensate with outward appearance because of his inner lack of school spirit? A person's true spirit isn't here, but in him. I don't flaunt my school pride on the outside because it's what's on the inside that counts. And by inside, I'm of course referring to this elephant seal handkerchief in my pocket. As you can see, it is noticeably larger than my opponent's lapel pin.
Folks, school pride isn't just about size, but about quantity. As you can see, inside my jacket, I got another 10 lapel pins right here.
I have so much school pride that Northern Elephant Seals is my middle name. And I mean that literally, as my name has legally been changed to Caitlin Northern Elephant Seals Parker.
gentlemen, my ring jumper.
My opponent just played the call of the western elephant seal. The northern elephant seal actually sounds like...
My opponent had true full bridle. She would bark with the traditional crane neck and sand flip motion, like so.
It will pale in comparison to the real thing. Stand, bring on the seal! Stand the seal! Come in. Stand. What's that? Seriously? Oh. Folks. The live northern elephant seal I captured this morning is gone. Unable to join us, he will always be with me right here, which is, if you recall, where I keep this elephant seal handkerchief. Seal pride. You're so young. Why?
Let the record show that my opponent murdered the seal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of today's debate, which means it's time for closing statements. Caitlin, if you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sophia. My fellow northern elephant seals, when you sit down and think, what qualities do you want in a president? Do you want a me-thirsty egomaniac?
Thank you.
Do you want a candidate whose entire Get Out the Vote campaign revolved not only around cupcake bribes, but triple chocolate cupcake bribes? And do you want the weird sort of person that sticks their entire mouth on the water fountain? Or do you want a leader who leads using leadership? The choice is in your hands, your tiny, underdeveloped hands.
Eddie, your closing statement?
Thank you, Sophia. Now that the seal murderer is done. I believe this is my time to speak. I'll put a snow cone machine in every classroom.
And with that, we've reached the end of today's debate. On behalf of the entire student body, I'd like to thank both candidates for a highly informative conversation. May the best candidate win. That being said, since all past elections were decided on who fit the most marshmallows in their mouth, congratulations to presumptive